Mindful Life Practice community.
And then start to drop into stillness. Dropping into your breath. Dropping into your shape. Dropping into your practice. Tuning into this moment. And as you tune into this moment, acknowledge the effort that it took to get you here. So when I used to teach yoga in person, I used to talk a lot about the effort it took, to book the class, to get in your car, to drive to Zayed Sports City, which is where I used to teach, to arrive in your space. And I think sometimes we forget that there really is an effort of coming home to turning on your practice and arriving on your mat, even though you don't have to physically go somewhere. You have to intentionally set aside the time. Set aside the time for your own healing and well-being. So acknowledge the effort that you have put into getting here. Because even that is an accomplishment in itself. Set an intention for your practice for the next half hour. Whether it is to commit to stillness or to reset or recharge, what do you need from this? And then can you just walk your hands over to the right? Stretch through your left side body. And then come all the way through center. And then stretch your hands over to the left, stretching through the right side body. And then bring your hands all the way through center. And then let's come up to a tabletop. And then just move our body through a few cat-cows. And then if you want to kind of like add some different articulations through the spine, like coming to one side and then the other, maybe circling through the whole spine. And then come all the way through center. Walk your hands down along your mat so that your forehead is going to come rest on your mat. And I'm going to give you an option here. If you want to take it a little bit deeper and come into a bit of a shoulder stretch, there's one variation that I like to do of this, where you place your blocks on the mat, and then you place your elbows on top of the blocks. And then you just bring your head to drop between the blocks, and you bring your palms up overhead. And this just creates a different variation where you're going deeper into the shoulders. And I'll set our little timer. Rest into stillness in this shape. Giving yourself whatever you need. Maybe it's just the simple act of being here now. Present with your breath and present with your emotions. Knowing that your mind is like the sky. And all it's doing is holding the weather. The weather is the thoughts and the emotions and everything that's passing through. Just give it one more breath. And then you're just going to gently come all the way up. If your elbows are on blocks, you can just gently pull yourself up off of them. And then let's just sit our hips back on our heels and close our eyes and just feel the effects of that shape. And let's leave our left leg where it is, and we're gonna come all the way up. And you're just gonna take a big step forward with your right knee. My head is cut off. I do this thing when I teach yin yoga, which is that I like really want the camera to be close to me so that I can feel really connected to you guys. But then I end up making it too close that like my head is cropped out. There we go. That is a bit better. Oh, my head is still cropped out. Okay, so we're coming into a lunge. And I want to give you an option here if you want to come a little deeper. There we go, much better. You can place your block underneath your right foot, and that is going to like lift it off an inch. Well, much more than an inch, but it's going to deepen the stretch. And you can have your palms on top of your right thigh and just know that we're going to be here for a while. So if you also need to like cushion your left knee with a cushion or a blanket, go for it. Because we are going to be here for 3 minutes, and I'll flip the timer. So I have been obviously really caught up in this kind of drama that I have personally been going through. Thinking a lot about the deceptions and the lies that I have kind of fallen for. And I had this really interesting epiphany today about all of it. You know, this same partner who hurt me so badly and so deeply was also one of the first people who really, really believed in my potential as a professional life coach and a professional yoga teacher, and really made me see that. And whether that belief in my potential was fiction or whether it was reality, it doesn't really change its effect. Right? Which is that belief in my potential kind of propelled me to become who I am and to believe in myself. And so I think sometimes, I mean, I'm guilty of it too, is that we can look back in sadness and anger and see all of the negative things that someone brought to our life and kind of overlook those positives. It's not to say that I'm forgiving him or saying that what he did was okay, but just acknowledging that there was some really beautiful parts of the pain and of the process. Everything in life is a story. And And the story we shape around an event in our mind kind of dictates the narrative. How can you tell the story in a way that has purpose and meaning for you? Let's take a few more breaths. You're doing amazing. If you're still here, this is not easy. And you are all still here because I see you all. Take one more breath. And then we're just going to come forward, step off of this block, slide it to the side. And then for the next pose, we're going to come into a lizard shape with your foot wide and your hands on the inside of your right foot. And then if you want to take this one deeper, you might have your block underneath your back shin. And basically what this is going to do again is it's going to just kind of like deepen the expression of the pose. Deepen the stretch into the outer hip crease. And again, we're going to be here for 3 minutes. Know that if you start to get uncomfortable, that you're not going to be here forever. You're not going to be in this pose forever. You're not going to be in this transition forever. Your heart's not going to be broken forever. Every single thing in life is impermanent. But how can you cope with this discomfort? How can you manage this discomfort? How can you be with this discomfort? Just give it 5 more breaths. You've got this. This is a killer, killer pose. You're doing amazing. And then just come all the way back. Land your knees. Slide your block to the side. Oh, sit back on the heels. Feel the release. What is moving through you and out of you. And when you're ready, we're going to come into the opposite side. So leaving your right knee, taking a big step forward with your left foot, and then just deciding, are you going to stay here or are you going to place your foot up on this block? Flip my 3-minute timer, placing your hands on your thigh. If your mind is wandering away from this moment, just gently invite it back in. I like the anchor of telling it to come back. You just give it 3 more breaths. And then let's come all the way onto the hands, sliding the block to the side. Then if you want to place the block underneath the shin of the opposite leg, bringing your hands to the inside of the left foot, maybe coming down onto the elbows, maybe staying up onto the hands. Here is our lizard. Sending your breath in and out. If you're starting to get uncomfortable, know that this is our last yoga pose. And we're already, I'm going to estimate a minute into it. I'm going to say we have 2 minutes more. Just maybe about 5 more breaths. Know that this shall pass. Nice job. Come all the way out of it. Stepping your left knee back, sliding your block to the side. And then just decide whatever way you just kind of want to stretch out of that. Let that whole thing settle. Come all the way onto your back. And we're going to finish with one last pose. I lied. We're going to do one more pose, but it's going to be a really comfortable one. So make your way over to either a wall or a piece of furniture. It's just going to be legs up the wall. So if you do have the wall nearby, you're going to slide your feet around and rest your heels. And if you don't have a wall nearby, you can also prop your legs on a piece of furniture. You could even just have them up in the air. Basically, we just want the blood flow to go back to the back and back to the brain. And I'm gonna find you guys one favorite poem of mine that I'm sure some of you have heard before, but it feels like the mood for today. It's called Being Human. I wonder if the sun debates dawn some mornings, not wanting to rise out of bed from under the down feather horizon. If the sky grows tired of being everywhere at once, adapting to the mood swings of weather. If clouds drift off, trying to hold themselves together. Make deals with gravity to loiter a little longer. I wonder if rain is scared of falling, if it has trouble letting go. If snowflakes get sick of being perfect all the time, each one trying to be one of a kind. I wonder if stars wish upon themselves before they die, if they need to teach their young how to shine. I wonder if shadows long to just for once feel the sun, if they get lost in the shuffle, not knowing where they're from. I wonder if sunrise and sunset respect each other even though they've never met. If volcanoes get stressed, if storms have regrets, if compost believes in life after death. I wonder if breath ever thinks of suicide, if the wind just wants to sit still sometimes and watch the world pass by. If smoke was born knowing how to rise, if rainbows get shy backstage, not sure if their colors match right. I wonder if lightning sets an alarm clock to know when to crack, if rivers ever stop and think of turning back. If streams meet the wrong sea and their whole lives run off track. I wonder if the snow wants to be black. If the soil thinks she's too dark, if butterflies cover up their marks, if rocks are self-conscious of their weight, if mountains are insecure of their strength. I wonder if waves get discouraged crawling up to the sand only to be pulled back again to where they began. If land feels stepped upon, if sand feels insignificant, if trees need to question their lovers to know where they stand. If branches waver at the crossroads, unsure of which way to grow, if the leaves understand they're replaceable and still dance when the wind blows. I wonder where the moon goes when she is in hiding. I want to find her there. Watch the ocean spin from a distance. Listen to her stir in her sleep. Effort give way to existence. So we have another minute or two if you want to stay with legs up the wall, stay. If you want to come into a full shavasana or a seated meditation or any other pose, feel free. Knowing that I'll bring you back in a moment or two when the time is up. This is my fight song. Take back my life song. Prove I'm alright song. My powers turn on. Starting right now, I'll be strong. I'll play my fight song. And I don't really care if nobody else believes. I've still got a lot of fight left in me. Just give your fingers and toes a little wiggle. Nice big stretch through the body. Taking your knees into your chest, giving your body a nice little hug. And then just making your way up to a seated shape eventually with your hands at your heart center. Closing with the intention that our practice remain steady and that our efforts continuous, that our yoga serves and benefits all beings everywhere. May all beings be safe and happy and healthy and free. May the thoughts and actions of each of our lives contribute towards this. So we'll just finish with an Om sound, breathing in and breathing out, and breathing in to make an Om. So taking a big breath in. Big breath out. Big breath in. Thank you so much for sharing the space and the practice. The light in me, it sees and it honors the light in you. Namaste. Thanks for joining me, yogis.